Hi everyone, this is Susan Dintino and welcome to the Mystical Moon and Moon Magic. So how is everybody feeling? I really want to apologize now that I wasn't able to get up to tell you all about that full moon we had, but we are here now, so we're just going to enjoy this new moon energy. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Susan Dintino and I am a proud psychic advisor over at the moon, at the Mystical Moon, and you can reach out to me via Lori over there and find out when I'm available. I'm just kind of getting into being in Florida and living here, so my schedule can be a little bit random, but if you reach out to me, I'll make sure that I find time for you. So I teach workshops. I have an empowering meditation technique that I do, and I want to tell everybody right now that I'm in the process of really getting my website to up and running point, and I have a wonderful gift for all of you that are listening. It's a MP3 guided meditation download of heart chakra awakening, and I think you'll really enjoy that. So I just wanted to welcome you all by giving you that gift. So just visit my website, which is susandintino, DINTINO.com, and you'll see the free gift. It's got a little graphic with seashells on it, of course, to represent where we are right now. So just click on it and you'll have that free MP3, and I trust you'll enjoy it. So wow, let's talk about this new moon energy that we've got going on right now. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about new moons in general. When we talk about a new moon, what it means is that the moon is passing between the sun and the earth. And because of that, for most part, it's invisible. Like if you look up at the sky, you don't see a moon at all. Sometimes you will see a very thin sliver at sunset, and this would also be considered the new moon. Now, what does this mean to all of us in general? Well, new moons really begin a 28-day cycle until the next new moon. And what we like to do in new moon energy is to set an intention. And when we talk about setting an intention, what that means is that we affirm something that we would like to bring into our lives. It can either be physical, material, a new job, or maybe changing a belief. It can be health related. Anything that you really feel is going to be for your betterment is something that you can really explore when you're doing these intentions. When you set an intention, the most important thing to keep in mind is that it's always done in the present tense. So for instance, if you are looking to eat more healthy, okay, what you would say is that I eat every piece of food that I put in my mouth contributes to my perfect health. Okay, every piece of food I put into my mouth contributes to my perfect health. Now, this might not be something that you're doing right now perfectly, but what you're doing is setting an intention. And by setting it in the present tense and affirming it, you're kind of faking it until you make it. So that's what we talk about when we're talking about this new moon energy and setting intentions, that we want to create something. Now, what determines the best way to use this energy, which is what we're talking about today, is what sign, what astrological sign the new moon is in. Okay, so this new moon is in the fiery warrior sign of Aries. And Aries is all about really acting before you think and just kind of really plowing ahead with things. Now, it would seem that because we've got that Aries energy going on, that it would be a great time to really be surging ahead and moving forward, bold moves. But there's a little bit of a glitch in all of this, and that's Venus. And Venus is playing a prominent role in this new moon. Now, what's going on with Venus? Well, the planet is in retrograde. And when we talk about a planet being in retrograde, what we mean is that if we were observing it from the Earth, it would appear that the moon is moving backwards. I'm sorry, that the planet is moving backwards. So to the eye, you know, if you're looking at a telescope or whatever and you're visualizing everything the way it's moving, Venus would look like it's moving backwards. So whenever we talk about a planet moving backwards, it's not literal. That's the way it appears to us. Now we know Venus, that's the love planet. Venus is all about I love you. Everything to do with that wonderful unconditional love. But because Venus is in retrograde, it is really telling us that it's about I love me. So now we've got this new moon energy that we're setting our intention with. And we really maybe are feeling like we want to go out and do something really like bold because of that Aries charge. But Venus being in retrograde is telling us this is not a great time to do that. What would be better serving us would be to do some inward work. So what I would invite you to do in this new moon energy is to set an intention that has something to do with self-confidence, self-approval, self-love. Okay, that can be your best tool right now as far as setting your intention. And Louise Hay, who is just like the grandmother of so much to do with metaphysical work, talks about mirror work. And if you're unfamiliar with mirror work, it's a highly effective tool in helping build self-confidence, build self-approval. And just to explain it very briefly, what you do is you stand in front of a mirror and you look at yourself in the mirror, okay? And make eye contact with yourself. And what you do, the first step, according to Louise Hay, is in her book, You Can Heal Your Life, is to make eye contact with yourself and just say, I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. And you do that 3 times, making this eye contact, okay? Now, again, with intentions, at times it's not going to feel true to you. It's not going to ring true. What you ultimately want to do is get to that feeling place where it does ring true to you. So even in the beginning when you might be saying, I approve of myself, and your little ego mind is clicking into all the ways why that should not be the case, you keep saying it. And as many times of the day, like get a little sticky note, put it on your mirror, maybe, you know, put it in all the mirrors in your home. So every time you go into a mirror, washing your hands, you look at yourself in the eyes and you say this. Once you feel comfortable with this and you can feel your self-confidence beginning to grow, you can, you know, replace this affirmation with something else. And what the ultimate goal is to be making eye contact with yourself and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. That's self-love, the most important love of all. It's really believed that until we truly love ourselves, we can't adequately love anybody else. So now that we've got this charging new moon energy, I invite you to take this time to really look into yourself and really, you know, how do you talk to yourself when you look in the mirror? I'm telling you to say, you know, these beautiful self-approving lines. What is it that you normally say? It's very important that you pay attention to what you say to yourself when you look in the mirror. And again, this is all about setting your intention. And because we're talking about doing this inward work, really getting inside versus outside, it would be a great time to try this mirror work, okay? Kind of visiting and falling in love with yourself. So we've got the new moon energy and we've got it in Aries, and we're going to set an intention, okay? And I think it's around 4 o'clock, I believe, Eastern time for something. Let me just see quickly here. 4:59 Eastern time, where that moon energy will be at its height. That being said, you're going to feel this. Again, they say for 2 weeks after the new moon energy, you can continue with this strong, real intention setting. The more and the sooner that you set these intentions, the better it's going to be to get to work on them. And I really would encourage you to write these intentions down. So in 28 days, when the next new moon comes, you can see if you feel any change in what you've done. So we've got this in this warrior energy. It is a good time to start a new project. So if there's something that you've been wanting to do, a new business, maybe starting a new hobby, maybe meeting a new you person, it is a good time to do that, but you have to do it with self-confidence. So in other words, we can set our intention, maybe get the ideas that these are things that we want to do, but that inner work, taking the high ground, looking at all the relationships in your life, are they in balance? How do you feel with some of your friendships? Do you feel depleted in the relationship? And is it something where you're always there to listen to them and they're not there so much to listen to you? You know, how is it working for you? It's really a good time to take a look at these relationships. And just, again, we don't expect everything to always be a total equal give and take, but your relationships should be such that you're very much happy to listen to your friend tell you their problems on the phone. When it's reversed, that person should be there for you. So if you find that you're doing all the listening and then when you have a problem, this friend maybe goes MIA, then it might be time to re-examine the relationship. And remember, we're talking about this inner work, the self-love and self-deserve. You know, so often I find doing this work that people don't feel that they deserve the good things. Remember, you deserve everything. It's really important that you keep that in mind, that you deserve to have great friendships and abundance in your life in all areas. So maybe you have deserve issues. Maybe that's something, you know, you might want to explore with this new moon energy. So new moon in Aries, really allow yourself to get inside and do some work. I'm a big encourager of any type of journaling, any type of writing. And when we're looking in ourselves, and maybe we've gone through a time where we don't really feel positive about ourselves, then what I would suggest you do is do a list of all of your attributes. What makes you great? It could be something as simple as you make a great spaghetti sauce. You know, there is great things inside you that are just waiting to come out and be honored and be grateful for. So this is all about the energy that we have right now. So, and a crystal to go along with this moon energy. So the crystal that I am going to recommend, and I'm not sure if you can see me because I'm not exactly sure how this is coming up, because I am wearing a rose quartz necklace, and rose quartz is what I am going to recommend as a great crystal for you with this energy. Rose quartz is all about self-love. So whether you want to buy a piece like this or whether you want to get a piece of jewelry, I love wearing my crystals. I always do that. So whether you want to do something like that, you know, get it, you know, in a piece of jewelry and wear it. But every time this crystal is around you, affirm that you love yourself, that you like yourself. If it's too soon for you to be saying that you love yourself, then fall in like with yourself. You know, see what you bring to the table, like I was saying. And this is a great crystal to use for that. So we're going to recommend some rose quartz for you. And you know, it's interesting, even though it's not characteristically known as a protection stone, this is my favorite crystal and I use it for everything. So when I recommend a crystal, I always say, you see how it feels for you. Maybe you're falling in like with yourself and you might see a different crystal that resonates more, and that's fine. Whatever it is that you enjoy is perfect, okay? The essential oil I'm going to recommend is rose, okay? Now, essential oils, just like crystals, are very individual and based on what it is that you like and don't like. So if you find that by waving that essence under your nose, it doesn't really appeal to you, then that's fine. I really highly recommend, as you're setting these intentions and doing this work, to bring out all the things that you can possibly use that are going to help you energetically. And an essential oil is great. So if rose is not something that appeals to you, I would just suggest you sniff a few and see if there's something. I'm really feeling a strong like citrus, like lemon is wonderful, lemongrass, mandarin orange. So one of those as well, if rose is not really something that resonates with you, that you enjoy. Okay, and then the angel we're going to work with, and nurture, because I just think this is so important as you're going through all of these really self-evaluations, building your self-confidence, is to remember to nurture yourself. Here's Archangel Gabriel coming in, and we see this little baby, and this little baby is you, and really being cuddled and held and just reminded that you are definitely worth it, that you deserve to have all this loving, nurturing energy. Archangel Gabriel is a great angel to call for any type of writing, any kind of communication skills that you want to embellish. If you are thinking about starting that new project, and say you have to go to the bank and you want to be very eloquent in what you're saying to the banker to get that loan, Archangel Gabriel is a great angel to call. We remember that this is the angel that appeared to Mother Mary to tell her about Jesus coming. And throughout the history, you'll see Archangel Gabriel portrayed in different male or female pictures. So angels, strictly speaking, are just energy. So it's not necessarily true that they're male or female. That being said, you will find that they appear to you in certain ways. Archangel Gabriel always comes to me as female energy. I work with her a lot because I really feel she helps me a great deal in my writing and communicating. So Archangel Gabriel, reminding us to nurture ourselves. Remember your angels, guardian angels, archangels are just waiting to be called. They're not going to come in unless they're called, because it's the whole free will thing. And the last thing I'm going to recommend today to go along with this energy is a beautiful red rose. I'm going to bring in some flower therapy. And what I love about using flower therapy is that it just enhances everything that we do. And different flowers have different meanings. Now, the red rose reminds us so much about love. It reminds us so much about self-love. So if you're inclined, I would suggest that you get maybe a beautiful bouquet of red roses to have in your home as we're going through this new moon energy. And like anything, if red roses aren't really your thing, I really invite you to purchase some flowers for yourself. I think flowers are one of the best ways to clear the energy, keep it enhanced, and it's so affordable now because you can go to any grocery store and pick up a beautiful bunch of flowers. So I suggest, we've got everything going on. You've got that new moon energy in Aries. You're going to set an intention, much more beneficial to do some inner work this new moon energy. We're going to use some rose essential oil, a beautiful rose quartz, and we're calling Archangel Gabriel to assist us and remind us to nurture ourselves. So I'm just going to check the chat room right now and see if we've got any questions coming up. And let's see where that is. Okay, if there's anybody in the chat room that would like to post a question, please do so. I put on my glasses so I can see them, and I'd be happy to do a mini reading for you. Otherwise, just a reminder that this will be available on the YouTube station From the Mystical Moon. So if you have friends that you think that would enjoy this broadcast and maybe you want to re-listen to it, get some more information, or maybe take a few notes, just know that that's something that you can do. Okay, so we have, let's see. Okay, sure. Christine just said she missed the first 4 minutes. Can you review? Yes, I'd be happy to. Okay, we're going to give you the abbreviated version of what I said. In the first 4 minutes, I talked about the fact of the definition of a new moon being when the moon passes between the earth and the sun. So strictly speaking, it's invisible from the sky. The new moon is always a time of setting intention. And because the new moon is in Aries, the energy is very fiery, very warrior-like. We might really be tempted to act before we think, just these bold moves. However, Venus is in retrograde, appearing to move backwards. And because Venus is in retrograde, we really suggest that you do some inner work rather than going outer. Whenever a planet's in retrograde, it's doing the opposite. So where usually Venus encourages us to be all kinds of loving and expansive, because it's in retrograde, it's encouraging us to do some inner work. So what I would suggest you do with this new moon energy in Aries is to focus on doing some inner work, particularly self-love. self-love, self-approval, self-confidence, really building all of that. So I think that pretty succinctly lets you know what we did in the beginning. Let me just check and see. Okay, Christine, hopefully that gets you what you needed. And I think I'm not seeing any more questions here. I want to thank you for joining me. I know everybody's got a busy schedule, but I really believe that when we know how this energy works and how we can best utilize it, it really assists us in really just, it's one more tool that we have that we can use. And I just so enjoy really knowing this information. And I know, like last night, I was really tossing and turning. I woke up quite a bit during the night. And for me, I'm very sensitive to these moon phases. I know often we think of the full moon, and I think everybody knows that. And I will be talking about the full moon energy on April 10th. So I invite you to join me Monday, April 10th, and we'll talk about that full moon energy. But even though that's well known as having so many effects on us, the new moon energy also does. So take the time to set that intention. Take the time to maybe do some meditation today and allow yourself to just soak in that energy. Remember, rose quartz would be a great crystal to use right now, along with a rose essential oil, and call on Archangel Gabriel during your meditation to assist you in any clarity that you need in moving forward. So I will check once more to see if we have any more questions before I close. Let's just see. Okay, Christina, yes, I'd be happy to do a mini reading for you. And I'm really glad that we did talk about doing, calling on Archangel Gabriel, because she definitely will be helpful. So I'm pulling from the Archangel Oracle cards. So let's, whoops, let me grab them as they fell on the floor. Okay, well, you'll know they're well shuffled, Christine. So whatever message we're getting is exactly right for you. Okay, so let's see what card we have. I'm going to go back to getting you right on the screen so you can see this. Okay, and here we are. Okay, so here's the card. Victory. Okay, here's a beautiful card for you. Okay, victory. Okay, and what this card is saying is, it's Archangel Sandalphon. Your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. So, Christine, what I am seeing around this is that there's been some doubt where you've been concerned. And I think everything that I'm talking about today concerning self-confidence, really self-approval, you tend to be a bit hard on yourself. Really pay attention to your self-talk. I think this whole idea that your book not being finished is because you're procrastinating, holding it back. 2017 is a #1 year, so it's a great year for beginnings. And even though you might have started that book a few years ago, now is the time for you to really put the finishing touches on it. This is a strong hit. Archangel Sandalphon, he always comes in to encourage us, and Archangel Sandalphon was the human Elijah. When we talk about angels, it's two different energies. Angels, when we have our wonderful deceased loved ones, they do not turn into angels. It's a totally different energy. That being said, Elijah was one person that was brought up and was transformed energetically into an angel. So I always feel when he comes in, he's really very familiar with the human condition. So that's Archangel Sandalphon. If you aren't familiar with him, I suggest you look him up, because he definitely wants to be recognized by you. And victory, this, you couldn't ask for a more positive affirmation for you to know, victory, that your book is going to get completed and successful. And just keep telling yourself that. So Christine, thank you so much for joining me. Let me see if there's anything else. No? Okay, so I am glad. I will be back to talk about the full moon, as I said, on April the 10th, which is a Monday, 12 noon. These will be up on the Mystical Moon website, so you can view and watch them at your leisure. Maybe recommend them to a friend or two who might get something out of them. I thank you so much for joining me. I am Susan Dintino. I've been reminded I have to introduce myself more often, but I am Susan Dintino, and I have an active Facebook page. I invite you to visit me over there at Susan Dintino Public Figure. And also my show tomorrow night, my radio show, The Night Shift with Susan Dintino. We're going to be exploring this topic even more. That's on W4CY.com radio. We're going to be talking about this new moon energy as well as doing mini readings. That's Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Get that new moon intention set, and I will see you at the full moon. Thank you. Bye-bye.